Probably the most important BYD news we've seen for at least 6 months, and probably no one's going to report on it. BYD has just broken its record for vehicles sold outside of China. This is extremely important because in China, BYD is not making any profit on their cars. It's okay if you want to grow fast, that's what BYD are aiming to do. But BYD are making a profit on the cars they sell outside of China. Not only that, they had an amazing month for sales in April. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. BYD's plug-in car sales increased by 49% in April of 2024, which is an amazing month. They delivered 312,000 vehicles, 312,000 vehicles worldwide. Now, 14,000 vehicles or EVs came from their sub-brands. That's that's 49% up from 1 year ago. BYD's all-electric car sales in April were 134,465. So you can see that BYD is really trying to sell plug-in hybrids. And that, unfortunately, last year BYD was selling about 52% EVs, 48% hybrids. Now it's going strongly the other way. Looking at these numbers, you can see huge growth on cheap plug-in hybrids that BYD is selling in China in particular. I'll show you what models they were in just a minute. You can kind of get an idea of what's really going on here. BYD sold 177,583 plug-in hybrids. So that's a 69% increase year over year. EVs though, not really a huge increase. If you look at it, I mean, they sold less EVs than they were in the last few months of last year, but they're still good numbers for this period of time, this period of the year. EV sales, April versus April of last year were up 29%. Total growth for the company is up 49%. BYD sold 1,200 commercial electric vehicles. So their total sales were 313,245. The key takeaway though is the 30% increase in EV sales. I personally think the plug-in hybrids are a nightmare for BYD. I can see a lot of carryover cost coming from that. As you know, as an investor in the company, I think I don't like those numbers personally, because when it comes to plug-in hybrids, BYD have had a lot of recalls. They've had to have there's been a fair few issues with them actually. There's been fires with their plug-in hybrids. And I can see that being a thing where BYD in 10 years time are going, oh, I wish we didn't sell so many plug-in hybrids. Look at all the warranty issues now, all the carryover costs. It's kind of like Ford. You know, Ford's like, well, just get the vehicles out the door. And so Ford has had to pay huge amounts of money in warranty claims, more than any other car company, except Volkswagen. 1 year Volkswagen won it because of the Dieselgate scandal. But every other year Ford wins it for the actual amount they're paying in warranty repairs per year. This could happen a little bit for BYD in China. I know a lot of people hate it when I say this, but I'm a big fan of BYD, but I still think they're taking on a lot of risk by selling this many plug-in hybrids. They're very complex cars, and they're historically nowhere near as reliable as BYD's EVs. BYD's electric cars are historically extremely reliable, extremely unlikely to be involved in a fire. So anyway, it's worth having a consideration of that. Of the total number of plugins, 41,000 were sold overseas. Most of those were fully electric cars. So that's an increase, and that's 13% of BYD's total volume, meaning only 87% of BYD's sales in April were sold in China. Only 87%. It used to be about 96%. So this is a huge improvement. That's a record, massive 177% year over year in growth. So that's surprising. I didn't expect to see these surprising numbers. 177% growth in export sales. And that's more important for the company than anything else, is their growth outside of China. Of course, in China, their growth is capped at a certain point, and their competition is just crazy. I mean, look, Xiaomi SU7, Xiaomi are clearly losing significant amounts of money on that vehicle. They're saying they can make one in a minute. Apparently, it's just insane. But anyway, the point is that they are competing in the Chinese bloodbath where they're not making any profit. So the more vehicles they can sell overseas, the better off they are. Seeing that 13% of all sales from BYD now are international sales, that's really encouraging for the company. This year, BYD has sold over 936,000 plug-in cars, 24% more than 1 year ago. BYD's plug-in car sales year to date, EVs up 18%, 434,000 for the first 4 months of the year. Plug-in hybrids, 501,900, that's up 29%. Total 936,446. So BYD have nearly delivered 1 million vehicles so far in the first 4 months of the year. Very, very likely they're going to deliver around 4 million cars total this year. I think you'll find most experts, analysts will say that'll be the approximate number coming from BYD, about 4 million. That's what BYD are probably saying. That means BYD very likely by the end of this year will be the 4th largest manufacturer. Now, I predicted a few years ago when I started the channel, might be even 3 years by now. Wow, time goes fast. The BYD would be the biggest automaker in the world by 2030. I'm sticking to it. I believe BYD will leapfrog Toyota pretty easily, in fact, over the next 5 years. Probably will happen even before 2030. The BYD will overtake Toyota. Keep in mind, BYD's cost of production is lower than Toyota's. They make the majority of their cars in China. They make the batteries themselves. Toyota doesn't do that, obviously. Toyota is getting BYD to make its EVs for them. So that shows you the big advantage BYD has over companies like Toyota. Now, of course, if you look at Australia, the majority of Toyota sales in Australia are hybrids. So BYD has a tremendous advantage in hybrid and plug-in hybrid technology over Toyota. And I don't think it'll take long for customers to realize that. Would you prefer a BYD? I'm not saying you should buy one, but would you prefer a BYD plug-in hybrid that will give you a real-world range of 100 kilometers, or a Toyota hybrid that will give you a real-world range of 0 kilometers? I mean, Toyota's hybrids, not plug-in hybrids, they're hybrids, which is the majority of cars they sell. They give you 0 kilometers. You can't drive on EV battery range alone. But then when it comes to fully electric cars, BYD have a vast advantage over Toyota. So I think it's very likely it'll happen. That's what we're seeing here. Huge disruption. So which cars were the best-selling cars for BYD? Well, we have a list of BYD's actual models. The Song was, I believe, the best-selling car for BYD. They sold 51,000 of those. That is a plug-in hybrid. The Denza, pretty decent month for Denza sales. They sold 10,000 D9 MPVs, 1,007 SUVs, and 33 N8 SUVs. So the N8 has just come to market. So that's the reason for the slow numbers there. Fang Cheng Bao, BYD's obviously their off-road brand. They sold 13,000 of those. Yang Wang, they sold only 952. That's BYD's ultra luxury sub-brand. So 952 ultra luxury. They're all well over $150,000 for those vehicles. Very pricey. BYD Chin. Lots of Chins were delivered. They are very, very cheap. BYD delivered 51,000 of those. So about the same number as they sold of the Song. Song and Chin models, they're both plug-in hybrids. Big sellers for BYD, but no profit in these cars. They're very, very cheap. BYD Chin had a lot more deliveries than the BYD Seagull, which I think was the best-selling EV for BYD. The Seagull, though, is only sold in China. So all these news stories you're seeing from Electric and all these other reporters saying, oh, the BYD Seagull is going to be amazing. It's going to be $10,000, and it's not. It's not sold outside of China. It's never even part of BYD's plans. As far as we know, they've never said that. Seagull deliveries, 35,000 in the month of April. BYD Yen, which is the Atto 3, had a good bounce back month. They sold 35,000 of the Atto 3. And then you've got the BYD Chaser 05. That's had a dramatic increase in sales. Last year, it was just no one wanted this car. Very, very low sales. All of a sudden, over the last 2 months, they've sold big numbers. Around 34,000 of those were delivered, which is growth of 510% year over year. I'm not sure what's happened there, but I believe the price was lowered. And that might be part of the reason. BYD Han. So BYD has the Seal, but they also have the Han. That's their older electric sedan. And they sold around 21,000 of the Han. BYD Seal, it's not really a good seller for BYD. It's a good seller outside of China, but in China, no one really wants them. They sold 14,000 of the Seal, even though the price was reduced. And also, they have improved it. They brought a newer version and a big price reductions, but yeah, they're still not selling very well. Those deliveries, I believe, 14,000, I believe almost all of those sales were outside of China. The majority of those sales were outside of China. The BYD Tang. There's a Tang plug-in hybrid and there's a fully electric Tang. And BYD sold 15,000 or just under 15,000 of those. Of course, there is a new version of that. I made a video on that one, by the way, if you want to see that. The Tang is better now, it's improved, and it's cheaper, and yeah, the sales haven't really risen for the Tang. It's a bit of an old car now. The Dolphin. BYD Dolphin sales, I don't know what the hell happened because they only sold 10,000. That's the international vehicle. The Dolphin hasn't really done that well overseas against the MG4. MG4 is outselling the Dolphin by a mile outside of China. I think people probably like the design for a bit more, but the Dolphin's a great car. So if you're in the market for the Dolphin, definitely worth having a look at. The BYD E2, just under 2,000 of those were delivered. The BYD Frigate, which is a plug-in hybrid, very few of those, just under 2,000. And that's basically the majority of BYD's car sales by model. There's lots of new vehicles coming. BYD is just revealing new models constantly. I'll keep you guys updated on that. And it's going to be fun to watch this disruption. BYD is disrupting legacy auto. In particular, companies like Toyota and Volkswagen, you might not see it so much yet because it's more of a China thing. But I think it's going to happen worldwide over the next 5 years. Thanks for watching.